why she took down the video of the arrest and the inappropriate interrogation which preceded it. I say inappropriate because it appears that the Laconia officers were threatening her over the simple refusal to provide, answers to their questions. But anyway, my question here, in terms of the transparency issue.
What tragedies, what horrors.
Churchill used to say, prudence and audacity may be alternated but never mixed.
To get a Freedom of Information Act.
Generally, you want to go all the way fighting the authorities through PR when they come after you, or you want to go all the way with trying to avoid hacking them off. Generally, the latter course is the one that lawyers like. And this situation has triggered, more than any other I've seen so far, a useful debate in the Free Stater community over that very subject. Do you go out all out with PR to defend yourself or not? I've finally bumped into a really insightful articulation of this latter point of view. Now, I'm more of the PR point of view person. I believe in using PR to defend yourself. And the lawyer pretty much needs to fit into that as best he can. I probably wouldn't pick a lawyer that tried to systematically discourage the use of the PR weapon. But there's a New Hampshire activist named Brandon Ross, who is, I don't know exactly what his status is, how deep he is into the legal school, or if he's a lawyer now or a paralegal or whatever. But he's always struck me as competent and articulate. And I want you to hear what he has to say in favor of the, I guess what we'll call the prudence approach, the inside the system, legal, lawyer up, stay quiet approach. Ross says, quote, if rule number 1 is that you don't talk to the police, rule number 2 might be not to make public statements, personally, and on video. Both rules being specific embodiments of the general principle STFU. So, as a learning experience, let me tell you what a prosecutor first sees, whether it is correct or not. If you say that you did not have an open container and had no knowledge that your passengers did either, but you shake your head no while you're saying it, you deliver it with flat effect. My first impression is that you're not quite believing what you're saying. Coupled with a denial that there was no alcohol in your car. Immediately followed by a tacit admission that there may have been alcohol in the vehicle, carried by a passenger. Followed by a separating hand motion. Now, I interpret that you also don't believe what you're saying, but you're choosing to ignore an inconvenient fact. I observe a similar response on the DUI issue, a denial of impairment only, but not a denial of alcohol consumption. Head shaking, delivered with relatively flat effect. Compare those to the denial of having a controlled substance. Compare that to the denial of having controlled substances. That the police goofed because they were prescription meds. Factually explaining with head nodding, and a more excited tone, with a tinge of righteous indignation, which is an appropriate response for someone who thinks she's done nothing wrong. And as a prosecutor, I know that's a very easy offense for a charge-hungry officer to pile on. I then observe the same behavior with the explanation of disobeying an officer. Detailed, factual explanation. Elevated effect,